Hey guys, so today I'll be showing you an individual training session that I did on Monday, and I'm recording this on Thursday. So in this session I did crossing, finishing and dribbling and some ball control as well. I'm just going to talk you through how I analyze my mistakes and how I attempt to make my next training session better and learn from my mistakes as soon as possible. And hopefully you get some insights on what you can do to improve your training session as well. So I hope that this video comes in handy to you. Let's get straight into it. So this is basically my warm-up, and it's a pretty general warm-up that I do all the time. So I tend to do this basically every time before I start my training sessions. It's about 5-6 minutes. And then sometimes if I'm doing my speed session, then I add a little bit of speed warm-up into it as well. And if you would like to see that speed warm-up, then do let me know in the comments down below. But basically these are all the movements that you would normally do in a warm-up, and I tend to do them just to loosen up a little bit so that I don't pull a muscle or get injured during training. I usually just like to start my training sessions with some juggling, just to get some touches on the ball, just to get the feel of the ball, and then to get slightly used to the ball. This then just helps with having a better touch in the training session when you have the ball at your feet. Yeah, I feel like it's a really good way to just kind of let your body loosen up a little bit and warm up a little bit more, but this time with the ball instead of just doing a warm up without the ball. I think juggling is something that is the first thing that people actually learn when they start playing football, because it teaches you ball control, it teaches you how to get that touch on the ball. And to be fair, I didn't start juggling until I was like 14, and even when I was 14 I was struggling to do like 10 kick-ups. And I know a lot of people like at 14 they were already able to like juggle the ball like really properly, but then yeah, I struggled at 14 because I never really practiced juggling. All I practiced when I was younger was shooting, and that's probably why my shooting is still better than all my other skills. But then it took me a while to get there, and I think once you do pick up juggling, you can actually do a lot more things. But yeah, now I can juggle pretty decently, and even though it did take quite some practice, I don't think it actually matters when you like start juggling altogether, but it's more so like how much of effort are you willing to put in to actually get better at that thing. So even though I started at 14, I think like within a year, I kind of was able to juggle pretty okay. So it's all about the effort that you put in instead of just the time frame. The time frame is just something that people like to look at because they're like, how fast can I get it done? But it's actually how much of effort am I willing to put in to get this thing done as fast as possible. So for this drill, I did 100 with both feet, and then 50 on my left and then 50 on my right. So after the juggling, I moved into straight cone dribbling, and for the first variation I did with inside foot and outside foot. And now I always feel like people tend to think that these single cone dribbling drills are very simple, but the thing about these drills is that even though you've mastered the technique of how to do them properly, the next step then is to actually improve the speed of dribbling and to improve like the sharpness of dribbling. Every touch that you make, you want to make sure that it's as perfect as possible so that you're able to move through the cones as swiftly and as smoothly as possible without having to adjust your body too many times or without feeling like you're off balance. So even though you might think that it's a simple drill, there are actually so many levels to this drill that you should be mastering so that you actually become more confident when you pull this off on the field in the game. So the next variation that I did were the La Croquetas. Personally, to me, the croquetas that I did don't really look like croquetas. They look more like I'm just pushing the ball through the cones. And I think it's because I'm not actually bending my knees as much as I should have, or I don't really have that motion of a croqueta as well. So even though I've done these drills so many times, I still tend to mess it up. I still tend to bump into the cones, and it's pretty normal as well. So it's not like you're going to be perfect every single time. Even though the drills are simple, it is important that you keep practicing them so that take it to as close to perfection as you possibly can. After the croquetas, the third variation that I did was actually the soul roll. So for these, I tend to find that sometimes the ball gets stuck underneath my body, and it's because I don't get the ball far out enough in front of me. So I try to move together with the ball. Usually with soul rolls, whenever you try to move as fast as the ball is moving, you tend to get the ball stuck under your body. So I realized that with the soul rolls, sometimes you want to move maybe a step behind so that you're able to actually put your foot forward and roll the ball over, and then have the ball in front of you instead of having it getting stuck under you over and over, and then you have to keep adjusting your body so that you don't trip over the ball and you're able to get out of trouble. Now for this next exercise, it's basically a crossing drill. So I'm driving the ball from the first cone towards the second cone, and then I'm cutting inside, doing a little body feint, and then I'm trying to cross into the goal. To be fair, I wasn't going to put this session in this video because it was so embarrassing. Most of my crosses were just out of place and they were not going where I wanted them to. Most of them were going towards the near post, but it was not even going inside the goal. It was just flying outwards. And I kind of figured out later on that I wasn't actually pushing the ball far out enough. And even when I was pushing the ball far out enough, I was basically just closing my hips whenever I took the cross. And then as I'm performing this exercise, I'm trying to do a little body feint as I reach the second cone. And I feel that some of my body feints actually need a little more feint in it. Like, it's not very deceiving. Some of them are okay, but some of them are not. And then some of my crosses, as you can see, they just go literally all over the place. And this was a pretty frustrating drill, if I'm being honest. But I did try it again. But I did try this again yesterday, which was Wednesday. And this time they were actually much better. I gave myself a little more room between me and the ball, so I pushed it out a little further, and I tried to keep my hips open wherever possible. So this time the ball did go in quite a few times and I was pretty happy with it. Surely I can work on refining it, but compared to the one that I did on Monday, the one on Wednesday was actually much better. So for this last exercise, it's a bit similar to the previous one, but this time I'm doing a dribble through the cones, and then I'm going towards a 3-cone and performing a little skill over there, just acting as a defender, and then I'm trying to shoot. This time the intention is more of shooting, and I was pretty satisfied with this drill, to be honest. So the first two I cut inside, and this last one I cut on the outside and tried to shoot my left foot. And I missed this one, but in a while I'll show you another one that I actually scored. And as of this one on the left side, the first one was just horrible. It went completely away, and so I kind of restarted the drill. So I did this one, and here I kind of allowed the ball to roll a little too far. I guess in a game you wouldn't have that much of time. So this second one was okay. It wasn't too bad. It went in, but still it's not the best. And for this last one, I cut on the outside and I shoot with my right foot. So this is the extra drill that I performed on my left foot, and this time the ball went in. And if you just take a look at this clip over here, you realize that on the first attempt I actually hit the ball and I closed my hips, and that's why the ball didn't go in. And on the second one, my hips were slightly more open. I didn't really cross my foot in front of my body, and therefore it kind of allowed for an open hip and an open foot surface to allow the ball to go into the far bottom corner. Now, if you enjoyed that, thank you so much for watching. Please hit the subscribe button down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers!